This is ACF Radio with Nick Oliver.
The secret side of me, I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just can't hold it. It's scratching on the wall.
Today, I'm going to show you what you need to build the model. This is going to include all the building materials, the paints, and then painting techniques. First off, before we even do anything, you need to have 4 things if you're going to build a good plastic model. You need clippers. You need glue. In this case, I like Tamiya Extra Thin Cement because it adheres only to plastic crevices, and it evaporates if it's not in a crevice. So I've spilled the stuff before, it doesn't stain, it just evaporates. But it does have, but warning you guys, it does have a strong odor. You need sanding paper. And then you also need Formula 560 canopy glue. All of which I've gotten, all the stuff I've gotten in eBay except for the sandpaper, which I got on in Home Depot. Now, once you get going on that, I'll do a whole different segment on how to actually build the model. But for now, I'm just going through mostly painting and painting techniques. So you have your model. It's done. You just finished it. You're really proud. So what do you do next? Well, what you're going to need is you're going to need primer. Primer, computer's not cooperating. You need your primer because it's what makes the paint stick. You spray it on there, let it dry, and then you're like, okay, what do I do now? Well, you paint it, but you have a bunch of ways of going about it. You can spray paint it as I do, or if you have an airbrush, you can airbrush the paint on. Or if you don't have either one of those, you can go and you can just use paints and paint the model by hand. Now, once you're there, once you painted it, whatever color you want, you go and what you have to do next is well, it depends. You could do a whole bunch of stuff. You could use, well, paint. Let's start with the paints. The paints, you can use a whole different kinds. I would not suggest you use craft paint. I've tried that. It does not work. You can use everything from, hold on, acrylic paint, which I prefer to use, or you can use enamel, which is oil-based, and a whole bunch of stuff in between. Now, the types I like to use most are Valero, V-A-L-E-G-J-R, V-A-L-L-E-J-O. Those paints, Games Workshops, and Tamiya. I like to use those paints most because they are the best quality in my opinion. But the only problem is whatever that is. I can't say it for my life. These they come in small bottles, so it's really you go through these really quickly. Tamiya, it has fumes, and Games Workshop is right in the middle, but it's so thick to put on. So after you paint it with whatever you want to paint. Then you go through to different, how should I say, how do I say, you go through, you have to weather it. That's it, weather it. And you can do that by a bunch of different techniques. Like, with me, my favorite technique is to take a sponge or foam. What you do is you dab it, you dab a little paint on it, and then what you do is you take your tank and you rub it on the sides. And what that does is it creates a splattered effect. And it's not like you're actually painting it. It's just that you're just dotting it on. So it looks like it's actually caked on mud and stuff. And that's how I got it for this tank. You can see that it's got the caked in mud look on it. But if you can also do something called ink washing or black washing. Ink washing is where you use ink to there are two different things. Ink wash is where you highlight the details by using ink to fill in the crevices. Then you can do something called black washing or white washing, whichever you prefer, depending on whatever tank you're making, or Gundam, or whatever. What you use, you can tell the difference on this tank by the sides, because I did not weather the hull of the tank that much. But what you can do is you take wet paint, Elmer's glue, and black paint, Elmer's glue, and pour it into a cup and mix it together and add a little water to it, and that will give it that aged look. When you paint it on, it will give it a dark aged look. Or if you're going for a winter scene, it will give you that really caked on snow ice onto the tank or Gundam. So it looks like it looks like it's been out in the field for a while. Instead of having just this. Instead of having that bright color. Now, when you're done painting it, what you need to do is you need to spray it with lacquer to protect it. This is expensive. This costs you like something like 12, 13 bucks. But it's worth it. It will keep your models safe and sound when it comes to moving them around, at least. Now, when you're done with that, let me go back, and I said I was going to do a segment on the building. I should have probably done this first, but what you can do is you can build them a whole bunch of ways. You can listen to the instructions, or you can do it on your own and build the major parts first, and then go back to the instructions for the little pieces. Because, like with the Dragon models, they come with upgrade pieces. So you never know, you may wind up with 2 rear idler wheels or something like that. But like when it came to my LWS, I decided to leave it open instead of gluing the canopy shut, because I want to later put a crew in. So you can do this stuff like that too. But anyways, when you're building it, what you have to do is when you're filing it down, you have to really take your time to file it down so it looks good. I mean, as you go through modeling, as you continue with models and get better and better, you'll slowly realize that. But another thing you have to do is you have to be careful, because if you're using like Timea cement, what you have to realize is it will not work for photo etched pieces, like the chain and everything. You have to use either super glue, which I wouldn't recommend. I did it in this case and I regret it. Or you have to use canopy glue, which is, I used it on this side of the tank. Yeah. But it's a slow process. Another tip is when you're if you have individual link tracks and you're putting them together, lay them out flat next to like a ruler or something to keep them so that they stay straight. But just lay them out and then slowly dab it with glue, and as it's drying, set them on the tank, because it will start to sag like the real tracks would, and it gets a really nice look to it. But that is why you need the canopy glue. But other than that, if you have any questions on modeling or anything, just send me an email. Olivo009 at wcsu.edu at connectmail at connect. Here's the email. Olivo009 at connect.edu. I can't do this. It's Olivo009 at connect.wcsu.edu. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, everyone. One more thing, guys. I just found this when I was packing everything up to bring it back in the other room. This is the kind of thing you get when you use the piece of foam. You get this look to it, which is really nice. It's got a nice texture to it. It just looks great. So, I mean, you just have to dab it on a little bit, but otherwise you'll be great to go. Thanks, guys. See ya.